Crazy shit I did tonight, those would be the best memories. I just wanna let it go for the night. That would be the best therapy for me.
Pulling out the coupe at the lot, 24, 12 fuck swat, busting all the bells out the box. I just hit a lick with the box, had to put the stick in the box. Pour up the whole damn seal, I'ma get lazy. I got the mojo deals, we been trapping like the 80s.
Bored in the house and I'm in the house, bored. Bored in the house and I'm in the house, bored. Bored in the motherfucking house, bored. And I'm bored in the motherfucking house, bored.
What? Sorry, just quickly. What if it's da 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 down 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 What? Sorry, just quickly. What if it's da 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 da
Inside out, I'm about to show all you folks what it's all about. Now it's time for me to get on the mic and make this tag team party hype. I'm taking it back to the old school, cause I'm an old fool who's so cool. If you wanna get down, I'm gonna show you the way. Woo, there it is, let me hear you say woo. Come on, y'all. A little louder. Woo. Come on, y'all. Louder. Woo. Come on, y'all. A little louder. Woo. Come on, y'all.
the track go.
red light, green light.
Just come outside for the night. Take your time, get your life, dirty
All right. Paul's ass is taking a little bit to get here, but we Gucci. How we doing, everybody? LifeX, how you been? Chance, Con, Controversy because it feels so empty without me. Controversy. Fun fact, what you are listening to right now is the Tomorrowland 2024 Best Songs Remixes and Mashups. And all it's wanting me to do right now, I'll go in game for a minute here, is really freaking go to Tomorrowland because it sounds absolutely freaking incredible. So the thing is, like, Tomorrowland's a little bit more than a normal rave, for context. Like, there's a lot more people here than normal. Anyways, I'll get back to starting soon. Tomorrowland is 7 Mile Island. Yep. Oh, it is like Coachella, but bigger. It's rated as the best. I don't know if it's bigger, actually. But I know it's rated as, like, the best music festival in the world for EDM music. Bar none. Actually, let's look this up. Do a little bit of research while we're waiting. Coachella attendance numbers. So Coachella attendance is about 125,000. Tomorrowland attendance numbers. Oh yeah, Tomorrowland is about 400,000 people compared to the 125,000 of Coachella. And I think that comes across very clear. Oh, I love this remix. Yeah. So Tomorrowland is out in Belgium. I'd imagine the ticket prices are actually kind of similar. But once you get out there, everything is fairly affordable. Let me turn that off. Paul is here. He has made it. He has arrived. Is it because EDM is a bigger genre? EDM is definitely not a bigger genre. It's just a bigger festival. Tatara, how we doing? Someone who did not get tickets. Wait, Nox, are you officially going to Tomorrowland? Still trying for 2025? Okay. Paul's getting himself set up. And don't worry, once Paul gets in here, it'll flip the cameras and then that be it. Then we'll be good. Yeah, but didn't get lucky with the officials, so I gotta go through an official part. Ooh, that sounds tough. How much higher a resale for Tomorrowland versus every other festival? I'd imagine Miami Ultra resale is probably like the most, given the smaller quantity of tickets. But Tomorrowland would be, I think I've ever heard was Ultra music. Yeah, Ultra is nuts. But Tomorrowland is like even bigger. Like, let me see if I can pull up while Paul is loading up.
Okay, I don't know what's going on, but like 4 of my USB ports just randomly quit working.
Jesus, that sucks.
Yeah, I walked inside and a bunch of them quit working, but 3 of them do. I don't understand how this happens, and they're like 4 of them are in random spots. They're not even like in the same area, you know?
Yeah. So this is the main stage for Tomorrowland, by the way, which is obviously a lot fancier than Coachella. Like a lot fancier. Let's see if I can skip through it too.
One, two, three, let's go!
It changes every year. No, Tomorrowland is many different stages. Like many different stages. Like as you can see, there's a fountain in the middle of this. Like this is the 2022 one too. That's Tomorrowland, my friends. Anyways, I don't want to get this live stream kicked off and demonetized. But yeah, it's a whole different Tomorrowland's just like its own thing. Like it's the best music festival in the world in my opinion, but with like no exceptions. It's amazing. And yeah, you make sure you wear earplugs. Like everybody there practices Plur. It's very thought out by the community and very well perceived. Like it has the reputation that it has for a very good reason. And it's maintained that stance for a long period of time now. It's just like it doesn't get much better. Paul's losing us viewership over here by stalling for issues.
Go. I mean, we can just go. I don't think I'm gonna, without turning off my computer, you know. And
Hey, if you gotta restart it.
I've tried restarting it once. I mean, I can try one more time, but
We're just shop for
I'll
you.
give it
Why not?
one more go.
Need a replacement for the cast. This is LTA talk, LifeX. I didn't, given the volume of which we're gonna be talking about, like North America over everything tonight, and given how harsh I think some things I say might be, I want to keep the T1 jacket away. But let me ask chat, have you all gotten the chance to see the 30 clip that I posted on Twitter? If not, I can play it here and now. I think it might be worth me show. While Paul is actually, let me do that. It was posting on the LTA cord. I mean, I figured it would be. I figured that clip should go some places. Love this tweet, by the way. Let me play it for folks that need to hear it, because I think this is going to be very important context for what we talk about tonight.
I'm not sure. I'm doing as much of my part as I can. Like I've said yes to every single content piece I can do. And I will continue saying yes to every single content piece I can do, whether it's external, whether it's internal, whether it's like a small journalist with like 40 followers messaging me on Twitter. I respond and I answer their questions and I let them create content. I think that I owe a service to the fans and to the people who built up the scene. Like
Alright.
I'm new to the scene, right? And LCS was not created just by the people who are
Awesome.
playing and the coaching
Connected.
staff and the management.
Give me
It
one
wouldn't
second.
exist without fans. And
Booyah.
I have a lot of respect for all the like
Alright,
time
the
and passion
second
they put into
restart
this
has
game.
worked.
And so I always try and do my best to like give back.
I'm showing.
did-
I respond
Give
to
me one
everyone.
sec. I'm showing a clip on stream real quick. Give me one sec.
Oh, you're good.
DM. I remember I was actually talking to one of
Step
my
2 of IT
my
is
teammates and he was like, "Who are you
publishing
messaging?" And I was like, "Oh, this guy just randomly messaged me on Twitter." And it's like, "Wait, you responded to that?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course I do." But yeah, I think that if every player just has the mindset of trying to make things interesting for the people who are watching, like in any way that they can. I know that our games were like really pathetic today. I personally wouldn't have enjoyed watching it, but I'm still going to do my best to try and make it like engaging, you know?
All right. I wanted to show that. Paul, did you get the chance to see that clip by chance?
Yeah, I listened to the one on Twitter.
All right. Just making sure, because that's going to be the context for a lot of what I say here in a minute.
Okay.
But welcome everybody to the Crossover Podcast, episode 157 on a Tuesday because Paul decided that basketball is more important than League of Legends for whatever reason. Not
Yeah,
that
you
I
kinda
not that I
forgot.
blame him. I chose football over League of Legends and moved the watch party away from Super Bowl Sunday. So, and I'm not going to be
Well,
watching games on Super Bowl Sunday.
a January regular season NBA game might be a little under the Super Bowl.
A little bit. For those asking what NBA team, the Indiana Pacers for him.
Yep.
But I'm curious because we haven't really talked since opening weekend, and I've made my thoughts pretty public at this point. The amount of obnoxious tweeting that I do. What were your thoughts on opening weekend of the LTA? First time the product debuted.
Definitely less. My expectations were a little bit too high, I think, for viewership, so I'll just tone those back. It's not worth, I think, harping on that too long. I'm sure there are plenty of people who do.
I think it is to a certain extent, but we'll get into that.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna harp on it now. The rest of the games, I thought the format is a little tough. In hindsight now, I would say that I don't love that we made opening weekend just known stomps, pretty much. Like, more than anything, that's what we did. I mean, whether I get that that's how this format has to be, but honestly, I don't know if there's something you can do to make it so that you get the better series up there in the front. But I do think it was not good that every single series was pretty obvious.
I don't think you could change that. I think it's one of those where it's like,
Yeah.
so coming from Call of Duty, we used to watch pool play all the time. Like, so a certain amount of teams would qualify into pool play. There'd be like 4 or 5 teams that were like always there, and you were occasionally on upset watch, but for the most part, it was stomps. And it's like those were the games where people would put their highlight clips in, like, because they'd be stunning on like random like people that shouldn't have been in there, including an open qualifier team. And it was like, okay, you expected the stomps, and you kind of just wait until Friday. But it was a chance for like the fan bases to kind of get warmed up. It's like, okay, action's back, like cool, we're getting ready, and we go into the next thing. But like here, because that was the only games this weekend, and because we have 4 teams that are so far above everybody else, it exacerbated the issue 20-fold.
Yeah, I think this is like this format specifically is what does it. Like if it was a Thursday, Friday, we did these games. Saturday, Sunday, we did better games, you know? It wouldn't be an issue. But this was just a Saturday, Sunday opening weekend of just people basically getting like their skulls caved in just over and over and over again to the point where you're like, okay, by the 4th series, I was like, man, this is, I mean, sure.
So there's
I'm tuning in, but it's losing interest.
I cut out like the final portion of that Surdy clip where he like talked about how the shit the series was, but I mentioned to him as like I thought the Dig series against TL was probably like the most entertaining in a way. Maybe because I was watching for Surdy and he had some pop off plays where it felt like Dig might be able to bring it back, but like that was the closest out of all of them. And he responded like, well, if that was the closest, dear God. I was like, I don't know what to say to that, brother. I really don't, but I appreciate you keeping it 100. But, I mean, this upcoming weekend, though, pretty banger Sunday.
No, it should be. I mean, it'll make this one good. And maybe that's better because it gives people, like you said, a warm-up into this weekend. But, yeah, the first one was pretty tough. I ain't even going to cap.
I think it would be a good warm-up if there were, and this is kind of diving into the problem already, but like if there were more fans of like just teams specifically, I think it wouldn't be as bad of an issue. Like, because then people are like tuning in for their team to like, you know, get warmed up. Like Shopify fans, many of them were new to this watching it, and it's like, okay, you got your skull crushed in. Gotcha. Like, I don't know what expectations they had. For the top teams, like I don't like FlyQuest fans. I think most people were watching to like see the defending champions. I'm still not certain
Yeah.
like how many specific FlyQuest fans there are yet. That number will reveal itself come finals. But like the people that should show up for like their individual teams, I don't think showed out in the normal numbers that you typically see.
No. Yeah. It was a little tough. I thought that Shopify would pull a little more than they did, obviously.
I mean, they pulled a good bit. They pulled the most out of everybody. Charlie
Yeah, I
had like
just mean,
15, 20K.
Yeah, I just thought there'd be more, I guess. But it is what it is. It's a week 1 thing. You're gonna grow slowly. They'll keep moving up. I do want to see in week 2. I'm hoping these games, like, we can see a bit of a resurgence there. Especially with the better teams playing each other and the better matchups. I mean, I'm also hoping some of the bottom 4 teams can show something. I'm not going to hold anything against Lions. They actually look pretty good for a team that apparently had only been playing for 3 days, according to the pros, and doesn't have their starting support. I'm not too mad about Shopify from my end, just from the sense of I'd like to see Seos in there, and that I think that does help things a bit more.
It does, but I don't know if it solves your guys' main problem right now, which is the problem that I had coming into this.
Well, yeah, Palafox I think
did
is
not
just
look
not
good. And I'm scared. Like, granted, it's Quad. He's best mid laner in the league right now. But man, if he doesn't show up in this next series, that's problems already. I hate the rush to that, but it's true. And I saw Fudge's conversation or his interview with Cloud. I don't know if you saw that clip kind of going around, if that got fed to you, because I know. So Cloud asked him about the whole Blippo comments thing. And he's like, well, we had what did he say? It was basically Whippo called teams out for why did you leave this stuff open versus us when we were clearly playing well against Asian teams with it. You just let us have it. It's kind of dumb. And he comes back and is like, well, we had a plan to do this and that. And Whippo's like, okay, well then take onus on the fact that you fucked up on your plan. But don't sit here and try and discredit my argument whenever you played like trash. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. Personally, I would ban that against FlyQuest, but
yeah, I don't really get the Blippo thing. I guess I'd have to listen to it because, I mean, isn't that kind of the point of things, to try to make a plan to beat something?
Yeah.
Even if the plan fails, people aren't just gonna sit there every time they lose a game and go, man, that was just the dumbest idea ever. I don't know why we ever thought of that. It's you gotta try something.
You do. I don't think you give I don't know, maybe it's us with low budget LCS and it's too low of a level, but in my mind, you don't give the team the Exodia comp that they're used to playing with the Exodia, and unless you have an actually good answer. If you believe you have the counter, then fine. But your conversation afterwards would be, we had the counter, but we failed to execute. But don't it's different. I don't know.
Yeah, I get what they're saying. I mean, it's been a lot of patches, right? So they're gonna try something into that. I don't think they picked anything that terrible into it. They got Skarner. I mean, they gave it a go. It just doesn't help that they pick a pick comp and they're the ones getting picked. You can't. I don't really know what you want coaching to say in that moment. I know Whippo wants somebody to say something, but a team that actually is decent isn't gonna sit there and be like, oh, my mid laner sucks because he got caught out. My coaches picked bad or something. The coaches aren't going to sit there and go, I picked a good draft and my players are just dog water in week 1 of split 1 of 3. You're just not going to do that. So I don't really know what he wants. I get FlyQuest prides themselves on being always transparent with each other, whether to the best or the worst, and they're winning right now. But it's one split. We just started. They're not still there's still time for them to lose this split. So them acting like this, I mean, they're doing a good job of playing the villain side, but also they've had like mental breakdowns. So I don't know why they're acting like they're constantly pushing each other and talking down to each other doesn't come with consequence.
Look, my stance on Blippo has been
Like-
the exact same as it's been for a year now. And I mentioned this in the Discord that I'd finally address it here, and I think it's worth noting. I love what Blippo's doing right now. I absolutely
moves engagement.
love it because it drives engagement, and my guy knows how to clip farm better than anybody else in the space right now.
Mm-hmm.
If people have a problem with what Blippo is saying, address it. Say something about it. Actually speak up. He's giving you the opportunity and platform to counter his points. And I think a lot of the league community, and maybe a lot of the pros specifically, like treat it like you know how like teachers always told you with like a high school bully or like with school bullies and stuff like that, it's like just ignore them, don't give them any attention, like it'll go away. Sometimes you gotta fight back. It's just the truth. You can't sit there and ignore everything and let it go away. If people have a problem with this, if pros have a problem with what he's saying or what he's doing or find it annoying, somebody needs to speak the fuck up and call him out and be willing to have that conversation and fight it publicly and like have the drama that comes with it. But like, if nobody's willing to say anything, then you're basically co-signing what he's saying. You're signing off on his sentiment and everything else around it if you do not speak up. So it's like, I don't want Blippo to change. I want people to hate him the way that they do. But I need somebody else to man the fuck up and take the other side of this.
I mean, I'd have to see. I don't really know what other players can say, though, because his argument is just, we're winning, so I'm right. Like, what do you can't really argue with somebody who just ends everything with, I'm winning, so I'm right.
You call out what
Unless
he's doing. You literally come, if you're a player, you come out and say, look, like no player has said this. It's been media and everybody else saying it. But like a pro player needs to come out and say, you're only saying this because you're in first place. And it's a matter of time until one of us knocks you off your totem pole. And then I'm curious to see if you have that same opinion. But for now, yes, I can't refute what you're saying because you're at the top. Fine. But just know your time will come as it has in the past. So be ready. And when that comes, we're going to unleash tenfold.
But we know Fly can't handle it when they're not number
But that's
one.
the point. That like somebody needs to say that. If players don't believe that they
TL
can
was, and it kind of like started crushing Fly, and people thought TL were being too mean.
But that's like people got to stop caring like to a certain. I mean, public opinion is always going to be important a little bit, but like in those moments, you have to live in your isolated bubble and like understand that the drama is okay. And if you teach people to be okay with the drama and be okay with like the shit talk back and forth, then it's fine. Cubby mentioned on Hotline League earlier today is like, oh, you know, he doesn't like all the trash talk. It's like, I agree. Some of the trash talk is fucking fake as hell. And it's weird to see some players like try and make that their persona and like try and like, I like that they're stepping out of their bubble. Great. But like do it in a way that's authentic to you. Somebody in this league has to be able to fucking counter what Blippo's saying. Or at least raise some sort of point to him and to everybody else as a whole. But nobody's willing to do so just because he's at the top.
I think TL would right now. Or APA says a lot. I mean, he trash talks. At least in pros, he wasn't holding back on anybody.
No, he was doing well against Sniper there. But I'm saying, like, you can't do the third person, talk around this, say it in an interview. Like, direct it to him. Say it to him. Like, that's what you have to do.
But they're also, like, trying to... I'm trying to think, because they're trying... I think TL is, but they're also, like, taking their time with it, I believe, because they're actually, like, trying to work hard right now, and he doesn't just want to sit on Twitter right now. Like, the thing is, they're not number one currently, so TL's not, like... They're grinding, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm sure they're going to talk after they win.
But that's
at
the
some
problem.
point they will.
That's the
I get
problem.
to you that's a problem, but that's what TL's doing
I
right
know
now.
I know that they're doing that, but what do we always say about shit talk? You do it before the series, not after.
You can do it after.
You can do it after, but you need to
Around to it.
reaffirm what you've said before.
Yeah.
You can't just like sit there quietly, wait. And then fuck this guy. This guy was a piece of trash the entire. It's like whoa. No, you got to build up to that moment. You got to plant the seeds. You got to get the ball rolling in some capacity before you just jump to fucking DEFCON 5.
You're not gonna like the guy that's picked, but Jason made a good point. Sven's probably the number one dude who
I
can
like
do
that.
it and handle it.
Yeah.
Or Jan. Jan has a really good just don't care attitude. I like
think
Jan a lot.
I said that earlier today for a reason. Is like I would like to see Jan just like he doesn't have to say much, but just put out a tweet saying, "Can somebody in FlyQuest please tell Bwipo to shut the fuck up?" Like that's it. That's all he has to tweet, and Jan will be a legend in the space for a long period of time.
Yep.
Is what Bwipo did right. It doesn't matter whether it's right or wrong. It's everything right or wrong are objective opinions. Like there are going to be people that think that what Bwipo said and is doing here and revealing his draft and all that is the right way to do it and is going to increase competition. I don't think it has any fucking effect on competition whatsoever. It's only right or wrong in the eyes of the public and how we perceive it to be. And there's just nobody out there that's like, you have smaller rivalries, sure, but like everybody's kind of like Bwipo's yapping from his like little mountaintop here, and then you had like on pros, you had APA and Sniper and everybody and XU kind of like talking with each other, and like it was cool, and I like that. But like somebody's got to challenge the top here. He is like the vocal figurehead of the league right now.
I do think though, it's not. I know there would be a little bit more engagement if somebody else was arguing with him, but I don't think it's the worst that he's just doing his thing, and like jumping all that out, because it's still pushing a lot and it's getting a lot of engagement. It's doing a lot, and then it's giving media an opportunity to kind of blow it up and talk about it.
Yeah, yes and no. Here's the thing. Like it's starting it, but it could somebody could fan the flames further. The media can only talk about we can only talk about what's out there.
Yeah.
If somebody challenges Bwipo, there's no downside to that. It drives more attention.
Yeah.
Because what you're saying about Bwipo is entirely right. Like, yeah, he's doing a great job at keeping the conversation in the spotlight and like doing more than. Imagine if we didn't have Bwipo right now. Imagine what the LTA conversation would be like if we did not have Bwipo saying that this past weekend. It would be so fucking boring.
Yeah, it would be. It would be.
Now imagine if there were multiple people. It's almost like that was what happened back in the day. Players want attention directed at them. But that's okay. See, this is my point in chat, and this is the bigger issue that I wanted to get to. I'll first ask you your opinion about stream scrims. Where do you stand on it?
I have no problem with streaming scrims. I mean, if teams want to do it, I think I am a little more understanding of the teams who don't want to do it than some. I know it's a very contested thing right now. I think some teams, if you don't feel like you want the smoke right now and you also feel like you need to be hiding strats because you need the advantage, I get that. If you are a team that doesn't really need to do that, I don't think it's a bad idea for content, and it's really good engagement. I mean, it's working really well for Los Ratones. I think, honestly, what should happen is a tier 2 team should take FlyQuest up on their offer. Go on there, get stomped. Who cares you got stomped? Go get your name out there, live stream it, and do it. I don't know why some tier 2 team isn't offering to try that. I think even if you get curb stomped, who cares? People are putting eyes on you. For tier 1 teams, I think it would benefit them to do streaming scrims, especially for the YouTube VOD. For some reason, I've noticed Cagel's the only one who really uploads his YouTube VODs quick
Yeah.
and gets those ready to go. He realizes that people want to take in the content without having to watch 3 hours of whatever it is.
Yeah. You don't
Or
want to. You want to
4.
get through all this shit.
Yeah. Yeah. But I do think it's a net gain. I think it would be good if more teams accepted it, especially the creator orgs like, well, Shopify is now disguised. Like, orgs like that, if bad orgs just want to play each other, or bad teams, right? Because let's be honest, the divide between the 4, and we all know which 4 is huge right now. The bad orgs should be live streaming playing each other, and the good orgs should be live streaming playing each other. That's how it should be. If you're a bad org, you should just be like, I'm not playing you fly. I'm not just showing us off getting Kerm stopped. I'm going to go split a best of 2 with, like, Lions and let it be.
I think, to my understanding, FlyQuest probably could play some tier 2 teams, but they're explicitly looking for a tier 1 team.
Who? Oh, FlyQuest is specifically looking for tier 1.
Yes,
Then at
specifically
that
tier 1.
point, it's up to the other 3 if they want to do it, because I think that's fine. And I mean, obviously, you're gonna have to like be touchy with it. You're gonna have to pick pretty generic things. You're gonna have to take it as a content thing, not a we're getting better thing. It's gonna be content,
Yes.
but you still can gain something by playing what you always play and doing it that way. I mean, should it happen week 1 of a season? No. Maybe wait till week like 2 or 3 and do it, which I know in this one that's really hard because this is a fast-moving season. At the very least, the teams who are getting knocked out should be live streaming playing each other.
Yeah.
Like practicing. You would think.
So here's my thing with this. Like, I think we need to write off the competitive side of this. Because I've seen some people being like, oh, this is like good for competition, helps people learn. I don't think it fucking makes a difference at all on that front. If anything, it's, you know, that it's never going to be as effective as like actual practice, like off camera. The only reason why you stream scrims is to try and gain popularity. And the reason why I asked is because like a few comments ago, it was like the problem is you're assuming that players want attention directed at them.
Mm-hmm.
Players need to get it through their fucking heads that you need attention directed at you. That's what increases your paychecks. There's a reason why we are now lower average salary than the LEC.
Yep.
We don't have eyeballs on us. We have to grow the fucking game and league. And I get like this is all like what's so annoying about all this is that I've been screaming for people to do off-season content since fucking November. Back whenever the Red Bull League of Its Own event was happening. I was like, can teams, please, weekly video uploads with the full team. Do something. Like, you were scrimming back then. And I had the interview with fucking Golden Glue. And that'll come out on, or I think I already posted part of the clip, and the full thing will come out on Wednesday. He's like, oh, we could have screened it, or we could have probably streamed scrims when we were back in Korea boot camp. He was like, motherfucker, I've been raising that since day 1. And now you're telling me because we're in season that it's too late? Like, fuck off. I'm sorry, but like, I've been raising this flag. Where have we been on this? You have to do things to grow the goddamn league. You should be looking at that viewership barely sitting above 6 figures on opening weekend and shitting your pants.
Yeah.
That you're all going to lose your fucking jobs if they collapse this league in 3 years if viewership keeps dropping. You got to do something. Yeah. And I'm really happy that fucking Jungle Juice chimed in this morning on my thread about it and was like, you're right, this is probably the most optimal and practical way to get content out of players and teams in a way that fans would actually enjoy and digest. Because that's the entire fucking point of streaming scrims, is to gain popularity, to get people to watch you on Saturday and Sunday, because what we're doing from Monday to Friday ain't working. Clearly, pros is great. We all love it. Guess what? Viewership is not great right now. This Sunday, and the reason why I titled this podcast episode that this is the most important weekend of NA League yet, is because Sunday's viewership is going to determine so much for the future of this league. If it does not pull numbers, if we cannot get people to tune into the marquee matchups early on in a best of 3 that qualify you to a international playoff, okay, we are in trouble. We are in big trouble. So I'm not panicking over viewership yet from this past weekend, even though I'm bringing it up. Like, you got to do something. Like, we're not going to, as Stinky pointed out in chat, we are not going to dominate internationally. We are not going to get international results. You need to find a way to make us popular without it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know what else. Like, we got to do something. And it feels like people are so unwilling. Like, now that we're in season, it's like, but the season's begun. We have to worry about competition and all this. It's like, where was this in the off season? Where the fuck was this conversation 2 months ago when we were all sitting there watching Los Ratones play T1 and then wondering, man, I wish that was us. It's like, yeah, we didn't do shit from that point. That should have been a launch point where people saw it and was like, let's take the next steps to improve all this.
No, yeah. I mean, the one thing, too, about streaming scrims is it's also really valuable because it shows you players in their, like, natural habitat, and that's where they're probably going to be the most entertaining. It actually unlocks them. Like, instead of making players do awkward, like, guess the ranks or whatever videos or what's the Subway sub, like, video, you're, like, actually putting them in what they do best and what they're paid to do and showing it off to people in, like, a way that's like, hey, this is great. And most of those scrims, it will not kill them to just talk to Fly if you're 100 Thieves and be like, hey, give us Riven both games. And please don't pick just a hard counter straight up. Let's make this entertaining.
Yeah.
You two go in there and actually play each other. And people can be like, oh, that's so boring, knowing that behind the scenes they're colluding to make it entertaining. It's like, brother, that's what we need.
Point. Yeah.
We need them to collude to pick 10 champions that will be fun to watch for 20 minutes in a scrim and be entertaining. And at this point, I would say it's like, if dropping the name scrim is going to help people, we'll just call it content at this point.
Yep.
Just call it content or call it content scrim. Put the content word in front of it because it's not a practice scrim. It's not training to get better. It's genuinely just trying to get eyes on.
Yeah.
Because eyes on is what this league needs really bad. And I understand, like, not everybody is loving the scrim idea, and some people have a problem with it. They want more. But it is, like, legitimately the one place that players are used to being in.
Yeah.
It is the one format that they're all used to being in.
And that's, I'm not sure if you went back and reread the argument that I had with Khan the other day in the Discord.
No, I asked for a TLDR because there was 150 messages.
Yeah, we got into it about, like, the optimal way to do this, like, practical versus non-practical. And I pretty much ended up, like, doubling down on my view on this is, like, if players wanted to do anything else, they would have fucking done it by now.
Mm-hmm.
If teams, if people wanted to do something, we would have done it by now. And Butter My Tushy brings up a great fucking point that I don't even think people are aware of. We have 38 people in this chat, right, or in this stream. I want to know, put yes or no in the comments. Did you remember that the Super Week, the matchups that we are all excited to see on Sunday, are being played from the LCS closet?
Are they really?
Yes, no fans. Did you remember that there's going to be no crowd for this weekend?
Well, that's not good.
So this is going to test, like, that online viewership and everything. Like, I know Tushy remember because he's the one that reminded me to say it. But, like, I'm curious to see if anybody else, like, remember that. Because I didn't hear it mentioned on Hotline League, and I'm just sitting here like, oh, it's eating at me in the back of my head that we're going to be in that side studio again. But what can you do?
Well, I'm trying to think of how to respond to I'm a Cutie Cubes thing. He said, you look teams to make off-season content, but to increase viewership of the league. Do you think league viewership comes from fans of teams, or league viewership comes from league like the league
Yeah.
getting fans. So 2 teams. I would say they both are kind of with each other, no?
Yeah, they are. I mean, it was more
Like, you
players
want
for like the last few years, but it definitely was teams for a bit with
I
like
did butcher
TSM.
it bad though. I'm sorry, I'm a kitty cube. I butchered your comment so bad. But you want realistically what you want is you want a team like Shopify to bring in viewers to the league, right? With their content move. You want Disguised to bring in viewers. That's what you're expecting as a league. And then like a dig team is more than likely hoping that the league viewership goes to them eventually. But if you're a team doing that, in my opinion, and I think anybody can say this is more than likely the correct opinion, that's never going to work. If you're hoping that the fans watching the league and you're a bad team, that you're magically going to get fans who tune in to want to watch and be a fan of the team that stinks, that's probably never going to happen. I mean, it just doesn't. It never worked for Immortals, no matter how hard they tried, and I doubt it's going to work for Dig doing it that way. That's why they have Sylvex running a bunch of content, and that's more than likely why they got Surdy, because they realized Surdy is a really good content piece, and so is XU, so they picked him up. Or no, XU's on Disguised, my bad. But I think XU is good on pros. But who else did Dig pick up?
Dig is 30 Shaden, Keen mid lane.
Yeah,
Telmo
no.
Isles.
Okay, yeah, no. It's really only 30 that I would say is like good for content. So, but you have to try. I mean, you can't. I don't know what else you expect to grow the league and to get people excited if you don't have off-season content. I do know what doesn't change anything is just putting out no off-season content at all. I mean, the difference you can see is if you look at what LEC is doing versus LTA. Like LEC is over here making JoJo become this super hyped prospect, trying to show him off as much as possible, making Kalist this super hype prospect, showing him off as much as possible. Did they look out entirely that both of them are playing out of their mind right now?
Yeah.
Yes, that's complete luck that both of them are on like really good teams right now. But if it doesn't happen, you hyped them up, they get good viewership, people watch. If they end up being good, you hyped them up and even more people watch because they're good and everyone's talking about it. So when that happens, all of a sudden they blow up and everyone's like, man, why is viewership for LEC just so insane right now? And why is like JoJo pulling like 20K every tweet? He just tweets anything. He could literally tweet himself peeing in the woods and it would probably get 20K right now from Spanish fans.
That might get 30K.
And yeah, but legitimately, like he could do anything to get 20K likes. And we're over here just like excited for a 6K.
No,
sometimes
we're having
12.
to get like everybody in the scene to retweet Whippo's tweet to get to 10K.
Yeah.
It took like 24 hours to get his tweet to 10K. Whenever Jojo PM probably could have got that in like, I don't know, 3
he
hours.
would have got it after a game easy. And on an off day, like he would still get 6K very easy without even trying. If he wanted 10K, he could just post "get me to 10K" and they would probably do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you were saying, a couple hours.
Yeah.
So you do have to have some of that like engagement stuff. And I mean, Con is right with events too. Like events are huge, so big. I mean, that Red Bull event they do every year in the off season is just doing them so much dividends, and it's giving them so much back. And for some reason, NA works. Like I know Fly's calling everybody out right now for more content stuff, but Fly wasn't really like, were they?
No.
Were they doing so much content that they were setting the tone?
Let me check their YouTube channel. Let's see what.
I mean, if they were and I'm wrong, whatever.
How many videos did FlyQuest put out in the off season? Let's see. FlyQuest League of Legends videos. 2 months. They had Worlds content 2 months ago, patch notes, and then it jumps to the jersey reveal. So, pretty much no.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Case in point. It's like, and Khan mentioned a comment earlier of like, it basically, let me read it just so that it's like very clear. He said if they would have done it by now, if that's your take, then stop covering the LTA because streaming scrims aren't going to do the things you need for things to improve. They plant the seeds. If you're saying that they don't plant the seeds for potential content, then that's like you're delusional and you don't see that part. But as for like the whole NA is just a dead man walking, if that's the case, yeah, well, I'm delusional enough to keep trying to fucking keep this dead horse going rather than beating it. That's my own problem for being delusional, but I'm going to continue to live in that reality. And I like, you have to kind of flip your brain. Like, whether you like how I handle this shit or not, like, I'm going to keep pushing it and keep pushing it and keep pushing it until I absolutely fucking can.
Yep.
And you know what? Maybe that'll work out for me in some other capacity if this doesn't work out here. But like, I'm not going to stop trying just because others are telling me to. Otherwise, I would have stopped making fucking League content whenever Parth told me a year and a half ago that North American League of Legends is dead. Or when half the people behind the scenes I've talked to in private conversations come out here and say, oh, but NA League is just, it's toasted. It's like, well, I'm sorry. Like I said, I refuse to take that as a fucking answer.
Yep.
Simple as that. Like you can look at the signs and it can all point towards that. And that's perfectly fucking fine. I'm just going to say no. And when people look at me and be like, well, why? Why would you? It's because I fucking said so. I don't know what to tell you. I'm delusional in that way, and I'm going to continue to fucking live in that delusion. And you know what? Maybe that delusion will help us help work it out later in time.
Yep.
Maybe eventually a spark will ignite from all this shit, and it will take off. But if you stop trying, then yeah, it's guaranteed to not ever happen. What's the difference between Core JJ in-house streamed and stream scrims? Because you're getting to know a team. If individual players want to post on their channel in-house games and do all that, that's fine individual branding. If you want to build up a team, you need to have content that features the team. People want to see the majority of them together doing all that. Like, speaking from my point of view, okay, 100 Thieves. If Sniper posts an in-house VOD on his channel, okay, or like actually edits it down to like a digestible YouTube video, like itself, would I watch that? Probably, yeah. You know what I'm 100% guaranteed to watch? A video on the 100 Thieves League of Legends YouTube channel. I'm guaranteed to watch that, no matter what. My point is that you are admitting that teams aren't going to do what's needed to grow. Yeah, at the current moment, but I'm going to keep saying this shit until somebody does. I'm going to keep pushing the point.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know what else you can do to help teams. I mean, realize it. I mean, you're talking with legitimate higher ups in on Twitter. You've been getting FlyQuest. I mean, it seems like, I'm not saying you were the one that pushed FlyQuest to do it, but I think FlyQuest kind of heard you saying it and also was like, yeah, we should be reiterating this a bit more. And I'm not saying your influence is massive or glazing you too hard there, but definitely they mention it a bit more.
No, but like it keeps it in the conversation.
Yep. One thing that has, I mean, the issue is viewership is like such a scary word right now for a league, especially in North America. Well, really, is it anywhere else? No, probably not. I guess not, especially just in North America.
Yeah, LEC viewership's down a little bit, but like not like it's still stable year over year. I'm not sure the comparison of like CVLOL Spring to what this currently is. I know their numbers blowing us out of the water, but LCK, not sure about that as well. It's tough because like this kind of is a preseason event to a certain extent for many people.
Yep.
And it is like it does kind of diminish it at least a little bit compared to like normal season start. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to compare year over year after this point, but we basically we reworked the entire calendar year. So
yeah, it's just going to be a very weird season to kind of gauge everything. I think there's going to be a lot of, like every year in with towards the end of LCS and in LTA. Just tough conversations that keep happening, and it's sad because you want to just talk about the games and the happiness of it and enjoy it somewhat, but it's difficult right now because everyone's trying to hunt for how to fix it, and we just haven't been able to find it yet.
No.
Maybe we need to quit being so dark about it. I don't know, but I mean, in these type of videos, it's impossible to avoid it.
Yeah.
In a podcast about it, you eventually have to talk about the elephant in the room. But I will say, like, the broadcast isn't like, it's not terrible, but it's also not really doing much different. I don't really
No.
know what the
But I don't-
broadcast
I don't-
does for anybody.
I don't.
I don't
See,
know
the thing
what
is,
you
like,
change on it.
I
to make it
enjoy the
better.
broadcast as is. I'd be
Yeah,
willing to say
fine.
that, like, the product itself, like the LTA when it's on, is the best it's been in years. Despite the first weekend of games not
Yeah.
being close. That point aside, obviously. Like, the broadcast itself, the flow of it, I fucking love it. It's better than it
Yeah.
was back in, like, 2018, 2019, in my opinion. For sure better than COVID years, obviously.
Mhm.
Like,
No, yeah,
it's not, to me, it's
not
not
terrible.
like the base. I don't think it's the base product that's an issue. Our games are arguably better than the LEC. I watched the LEC this past weekend. I watched the LTA this weekend. Granted, ours were a bunch of, teams beating up on each other, so it's gonna look a little bit cleaner from one side versus the other. But, like, I didn't see any teams get Otacon and then just, like, literally sit back and do nothing for 10 minutes, like I saw in the LEC, which is great.
yeah.
So, like, I don't know what you say. Like, in my opinion, there's nothing that you can do in terms of the broadcast. I think you have, like, peaked out what that is going to be. And the overlay, by the way, sexy as hell.
It is
Sexy
good.
overlay. Oh, dude, it's so nice.
It was funny when somebody pointed out that the LCS flags were still.
Yeah, that was
on the
funny.
Rift. That was funny, but I mean, I don't really know what they're gonna do to try to turn it all around this season. The crowd is definitely, it just kind of is what it is. I think we've just destroyed that topic as much as we can, and they're never leaving LA, so that just could be cursed.
Well, I saw
Forever.
FlyQuest also tweeted. It was Carly, who works for FlyQuest.
Yeah.
Tweeted out about how the crowd is dead. Is like, y'all kind of bear that responsibility, no? Like,
No, yeah, she was saying how she wants to start getting chants going.
yeah, it's like, so do it. Be loud. Be the person that's like lead. Find every FlyQuest fan in the arena, okay, that bought tickets,
Yep.
and see if you can convince people to, like, move some seats around and try and get all the FlyQuest fans together in, like, one area, and just start going nuts. Anytime you get a
Yep.
kill, stand up, start chanting, start screaming, get some fan chants going, do something. Like, you got, if that culture is not endemic to LA people, you have to teach them that.
Yep.
You
And
know,
if people want to say, like, oh, it's weird that an employee's leading it, literally, how do you think a lot of stadium chants get started? It's involved. People who get paid to hype up the crowd is a real thing, and it works, and it's made college football a beautiful thing.
yep.
It's legitimately made college football insane asylum territory.
Dude, I love it, though.
You do not want to be in Death Valley or Happy Valley on a Saturday night where somebody hyped up the crowd. You don't want to be in Tuscaloosa. You don't want to be between the hedges. You don't want to be in the shoe. There's a lot of places you don't want to be.
Don't want to be at the
And
swamp
it's
with a pit.
because,
Ugh.
yeah, you don't want to be in the swamp. You don't, like, legitimately, it's even a neutral site territory in Jacksonville. You wouldn't want to be there on the wrong day because people get paid money to hype up crowds, and it works, and it makes the environment so much better.
Oh god, I just read the message in chat that was like, paid to get a crowd hype, mascots and cheerleaders. Dude, the last thing the LTA needs right now is fucking cheerleaders.
Oh yeah.
Those guys don't
Yeah.
need girls in the front row. It's the last thing that they need right
No.
now. You want to see the quality of gameplay deteriorate? It's gonna go down real fucking quick. Either that, or I don't know. Maybe everybody's inherently a nerd and steps up 20-fold because there's
Yeah.
people that they're trying to play for in the front row.
At this point, get bring in some of those Fansly girls that are running amongst the scene and get them involved. Let's do MMA style, like kill timers or something. That's what I'm trying to think of. Kill count. MMA style, have a girl walk across the stage with a number.
Oh,
If it gets
Jesus.
people watching, it works.
Oh god, it'd be so bad.
It would be, I mean, yeah,
It'd be
it would never work.
hilarious.
Obviously a joke, but
I was like,
It-
you bring the crowds to the East Coast, we could hype that shit up real quick.
oh, it's not hard to get Midwesterners angry about something.
I'd say
And like East Coasters in general, I legitimately, this is all East Coast is sports. Like,
Cubby made a great point about them not serving alcohol in the venue. That's fine. You don't have to. You know what we can do? We can tailgate beforehand. I get
Yep.
everybody drunk before we go in.
yeah,
And we're gonna be rowdy. Okay? If we have a match in Philly, okay, and somebody doesn't get kicked out for being rowdy, did we really do it right?
also, I know this is like tough, but I don't buy that excuse because alcohol's pretty brand new to college sports. Like, it's only been around for about 4 or 5 years that you can buy it in stadium.
In stadium, yeah, but the whole point is that everybody got sloshed beforehand.
Yeah, but I'm saying like you could not buy it in stadium at a lot of these places, and those fourth quarters weren't weak when people were sobering up.
True.
They were still locked in. You know what I mean?
True.
So that I'm kind of feeding into your, I guess, pregame thing of like you should still be able to pregame, get your confidence, go in there, and then be hyped. Does it stink that there's breaks in between the games? That kind of makes it tough, yes. But also like I don't know how you get around the game.
It's not
break,
like they
actually.
don't. It's not like they don't have breaks in pro football. TV timeouts
Yeah,
are
I
very
just
much
mean
still
that
a
the
thing.
whole game though, the whole game flow is still there.
Yeah,
So that kind of changes it, I guess.
you have to have a hype man that like
You do.
begins a ritual when the countdown hits like 30. Like you can't just be sitting in your seat like 10, 9, 8, like
Mhm.
10 seconds to go or like a minute to go. I'm like, you got to have a ritual that you do every single time before the countdown, and then at 10 seconds it's fuck FlyQuest chance. Like
Yep.
straight up.
Is there even do they play the play-by-play in the stadium?
Yeah, because all the
I
players
assume
have
they
like
do.
soundproof
Outstairs?
headphones. Yeah.
That's crazy. They don't do like Pacers style 2 minutes till Baron 2 and the whole crowd's like 2 type thing. Like countdowns are such a big and timers are so big in sports. That's
They are.
crazy that thinking about it with League, there's so many timers you would think would go hard. But yeah, I mean I just don't see that working in an LA crowd though. LA crowds just aren't that wet.
No, they are not.
I don't know any sport that LA crowds go hard for. Like
La-
other than
Lakers.
baseball. Dodgers fans really care. Lakers fans are like so wishy-washy. It's weird. They don't have traditions because their tradition is not showing up until they're good.
Yeah, and then it's just like
Like-
star-studded celebrities and
Yeah, it's just people showing up who like can afford to be there. It's not people who've been watching all year.
yeah.
They probably have to be told who the 8th guy on the bench is. I mean, not even that. They probably got to be told who the 5th best player is. Like,
Meanwhile, everybody on the East Coast knows every single person on that bench and knows their D League team as well.
yeah, they're freaking out. They're having like they're probably angry. Like there is a 100%. There's about I would say 50 million people in the Midwest and East Coast who are pissed off that some 17-year-old who's not actually good at basketball isn't getting minutes on his team. And they're like legitimately angry about it, saying that their coach sucks regardless how good their team is performing. Their team could be like multiple games above 500, bound to be in the playoffs. And they're like, I just don't get why he doesn't play. Why doesn't he get any minutes? He's fine at the game. And you just don't get that in LA.
No.
Like,
And the thing is like
it doesn't happen.
so here's the difference. And here's something that I thought about whenever I like attended Worlds, which was like interesting the first time, but like when you went every day, it kind of like made me think about it more. Was even for the New York crowd, like we were hyped. But like the thing that they did between games was they showed like Riot animation stuff, like the Rammus Go and like all that type of stuff, which like is not bad. It's not. But like I don't feel like it brings the same level of energy. Like it's funny, it's cool, but like it's not hypey. When I went to watch it was Florida State versus Cal. Their first win that they picked up on the season. We went to the Florida State bar here in New York. And the way they did it was there's a DJ that runs audio the entire night for the bar. So
Oh, dang.
so the second they cut the commercial, they turn down the volume, turn up Migos immediately. And I'm just sitting there with a drink and I'm like,
Yo.
and I'm just fucking vibing the entire time. And like everybody's going around talking to each other, bullshitting, and I'm like, damn, okay. This is like, and then it cuts back, like the music cuts down, and immediately you turn down the music, loud screaming crowd from the venue goes right back up for the sound, and you're right back into the action. It's like they didn't let you like relax and calm down. If you want to do that, you step out of the bar. And I feel like I don't know if like we've mastered like the live event like side of that of like understanding that you need to like fucking hype people up.
Yep.
Like what I would also do is like
Yeah.
if I'm FlyQuest, okay, or if I'm a team, or if I'm both these teams, like say for this weekend, okay, we have FlyQuest C9, both teams get a song.
Yeah.
Of their choice. And you play it in like the, you know, whenever they have like their music that they play on broadcast and don't do anything, have an in-venue DJ that like plays those songs, like get those fan bases hyped up like a minute beforehand. And it's
I know like people will think this would get old because like in your head you're like, oh, it'd get old after a while. But if you played Mo Bamba after like Baron was killed, it would not get old to people.
no.
Like after a Ace, bro, if you have a hype song for it, you can change the hype songs. But you drop a good rap beat or like hip hop beat over an Ace, it completely changes the venue. Like people lose their minds, bro. Like that's why basketball is like all you need is like 1-3 to go in. Whole crowd loses their mind. And you just instantly, like you said, if there's a timeout called, doesn't matter what it is, that music instantly goes so loud you can't think, and everyone's just freaking out. That's the whole point of sports. You constantly want to be like locked in, and they're trying to keep you just always like brain high, you know, and can't pay attention to anything else. And that's the
Casino
point.
level pumping oxygen in to keep people awake. Like,
Yeah. And it's even easier in League. It should be. There's no breaks. There's no timeouts. Like, it should be pretty easy to keep people constantly freaking out.
yeah. We need an organ player is what we need.
Oh,
LTA
gosh, no.
organ player.
An organ player. There's a reason baseball of everything
Hey,
is losing the touch.
no, hockey has organs too. Thank you very much.
Do they?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, hockey, a real sport to follow.
Are you playoff hockey? Yes. Are you fucking
Playoff
kidding me?
hockey's
Come on
cool.
now.
I'm just saying, like, we're trying to fix the viewership, Dave, not crater it. I'm not trying to like. We're trying to speak to young kids and get people into League, not get a bunch of 50-year-old white guys who are super drunk on Bud Lights turned up.
Bud Light's a presenting sponsor, though.
Yeah.
Well,
That
they
is
were.
crazy. Why couldn't you buy beer in studio when Bud Light was a thing?
I don't know. That's like wild to me. Like clearly your
Bud
average
Light
age was
is-
there to do it, and you could.
For real.
The Bud Light Ace is like, great. Where can I buy a Bud Light? Oh, sorry, not here at the nearest bar next door. You got to like leave, go out, but then once you come back, you're not allowed to bring the beer on premises.
Yeah. Bro, Runes and Rhetoric said Dignitas Baron happens. Amazing Grace blasts through the venue. Could you imagine how good that would be? That was such a good line. Oh man.
When they throw it, if it goes away, it doesn't matter who the other team is. The Sarah McLachlan dog commercial in the arms of an
Yes.
angel that comes on instead. Oh,
Okay, actually, like if they could find a way to put in Davy Jones, I'd take the organ. I'd take the Oregon player if they did
Yep.
like Pirates of the Caribbean stuff. It'd be tight.
Oh my
No,
god.
he's right. Royalty-free, license-free music is like it's fine, but come on,
Yeah.
let's put our big boy pants on and let's do some real adult.
We had
League of
that
Legends
Spotify
here.
partnership for a few years there. Like,
True, and they did nothing with it.
No, they did jack all with it. Like that was the oh dude, that pissed me off. Although my favorite thing every week, dude, that I miss this. So the LEC has swapped. You know that like music that I play in the background of my streams. That's from 3 different playlists. They call like a Talia, a Vi, and a Diana Sessions playlist. Okay, the LEC has adopted those. But back in the day, they had LEC Song of the Week that would be like a Spotify partner thing. That would be
Okay.
like a current song, like Robin Schultz, fucking like mainstream DJs,
Oh,
and like
okay.
they're playing like bangers between games. Dude, I turn up the volume between games to hear the songs. They were that good.
Yeah,
And I was like, dude, why did this go away? Can we re-up that partnership, please? I don't want to hear like I do not need to hear Talia Sessions between this. Get me back to the music that like got me hyped.
Yup. We really do need it. I mean, it feels like that's the type of stuff that you'd think they would have been trying forever, but somehow we lost the way, I guess. Well, we never had the way.
We really kind of
Like-
went on a tangent, by the way. I don't know how we ended up at music of all things.
Yeah, well, we're trying to build a hype venue. Like, we're trying to make the venue good. And the problem is this is all East Coast stuff. Like, this is what East Coast
Well, it doesn't matter this week because there's no
West
fans in the
Rap is
venue.
chill, bruh.
There's no
West
fans in the
Rap is
venue this
chill.
week. This should be a conversation for
True.
next week. We're not like we
It
can't
should be.
we can't preach anything this week.
Like, we're telling them to play hype music and get hip hop dudes in here. They're gonna bring in like Snoop Dogg and have him try to hype up a crowd and be like, "Why isn't this going great? Like, Snoop Dogg's cool, but you're chilling us out, bro. You need to like,
Bro,
let's get this going."
If I hear Glorilla between games,
Oh,
I'm popping ass somewhere. Like I don't
Oh,
care where. Tyler the Creator, if Sticky comes on, dude,
Yeah.
I'm losing my shit. Like if I swear to God, Sticky comes on before like 100 Thieves is about to play, I'm going fucking ballistic. Like I don't care if I'm in like the middle section. Like dude. Oh god.
bro, get some. I mean, the fact we had in Atlanta finals or in Atlanta
Semifinals.
week,
That
it was Worlds, right? Semis, yeah. The fact we had an Atlanta semis and we didn't have that kind of thing going on is crazy. We
They
didn't
might
have.
have. Do you know anybody that was like there in venue that could attest to, like the music they were
No.
playing between?
No. Maybe they did. I would hope so. I feel like that would have gotten out though, or it would have been a big deal if it was happening.
Yeah.
How cool it would have been. Did they have it in New York? I mean, New York has some pretty famous people. Feels like it's pretty easy to get
No,
anybody
the
in New
things
York.
that they played all like the league music between.
Okay, then
between
they
things.
definitely did that everywhere, bruh.
Yeah.
Like, it's just tough. It's tough. You know what I've also been thinking about lately, and this is a very hot take. This is probably super hot. But I do think one thing, I've been watching LEC, and when I'm watching it and listening to them talk, the way that they like still, even between games, talk up G2, you know? They just constantly glaze G2, which I get. Like, G2's incredible for them. But they really like took their best org, G2, who had a bad owner, convinced him to kind of sell out, but still let him keep all the profit he gets. He just has to chill somewhere and keep all his profit and have a board do hopefully not what he says.
Yep.
And they were like, they worked out a deal with him and convinced him to go into like the corners and all that so they could keep their best team. And in LCS, we were just like, okay, we're gonna take the biggest team we have. The owner sucks. We're just gonna have to push them to get out. That's what we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to try to get them out of here instead of like working out an under the table deal, you know, where it's like, hey, please cut some. And maybe Reggie was too tough to work with. We'll never know. But they really mended that relationship in LEC to the point where they could get it to keep the team, and we didn't. I think that's what really screwed us.
Yeah.
Over here.
Yeah. 100%.
not being able to mend it. Which, I mean, very well could have been Reggie was just too high ego to realize how much money he could have made doing nothing all day, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And having somebody else manage the team.
Yep.
But it sucks because I was listening to them and I was like, man, they really kind of cooked, you know?
Yeah.
Like over in LEC, they were like, hey, we could lose our best team because their owner is a psycho. We need to try to convince him to go make money somewhere else and give this up. And I was just like, man, if we could have pulled that off here. I know it's a
no, but it's true. Like, imagine having TSM like there in some capacity. I mean, TSM going back. The thing is, like, it's tough because like TSM's issues obviously were way. G2 was a well-run Oregon business, whereas TSM wasn't. And it's like,
yep. It's hard to know. It genuinely is hard to know whether or not it was even possible to keep together. It's just like, man, if they could have found a better deal for CLG and TSM to keep them around, I don't think it would have killed. I know CLG
equity groups that they all got.
Yeah.
It's like once all the people don't realize how detrimental the venture capital bubble was. Like, franchising hurt a lot of people. It hurt North America so much more than everybody else by a wide margin because like we had access to bigger VC pools, which elevated our ceiling. But then the second it all started collapsing, they took everything with them.
Yep.
American VCs don't give a fuck.
No.
And it's like we lost so many good brands, like separate from like the people that ran them and everything else like that. Like we lost CLG, we lost TSM, we lost Echo Fox, we lost, who else did we lose? Technically Evil Geniuses. I don't know how much I consider them to be. You know?
I don't know how big of a brand they were, but they
like
were a brand.
Dude, we lost so many.
We did.
And it's like, oh, dude, it's tragic because like, was it Colin that brought up the point before? But like somebody, I think it was Colin that said like they wrapped up the LCS in such like a nice, pretty bow at the end of last year.
Yep.
That it's like that was people's free excuse to check out and like
it
leave.
Was.
And we have not done enough to convince people that like what you're tuning into now is worth your time yet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the exact answer for that. My answer is, trying to stream scrims and get these players to be more popular than they currently are by like getting them to do content and getting to go out to events and do all this. But it's like we're fighting an uphill battle because a lot of these guys like don't inherently know how to do it. So I don't know. Like
and that's like, old day vibes. I mean, stream scrims is old day vibes.
Yeah, and the reason why it was so common back then, for those that are new in the space, it's like people didn't make the money they make now. The reason why you stream scrims and you fought to like have all this content consistently is because like that's where people made money. Your salaries were so low that if you wanted to survive and you wanted to, go to Wendy's more than once a fucking week and to have something better than like your frozen food that you're reheating up, like they had to do content. It was a means to an end. And like now, none of the current generation of pros, barring like Sven and like some of the elder ones, none of them have known that. None of them lived through that. So it's like you can't teach that. You can't teach that struggle that everybody else had to like fight and come up.
No, you can't. And it's just
they used to stream scrims. Yes, everybody streamed their scrims. Fucking everybody.
Yep. 100%. I mean, it used to be huge. But it's just it's tough. I was thinking about it more because I was like, is there really anything they could have done? I'm sure they tried, or they would if they could have. But it's just like, man, that turnover really did hurt. Way worse than I was thinking. Because I was looking at LEC teams, and I was like, man, the teams they held on to like, try to convince to keep, around, and then the people that they decided to put their trust in for turnover was a lot better.
Oh
Like,
yeah, the orgs that came in and replaced the other ones,
yeah,
all hits as of late.
yep,
Koi,
night and day difference.
But Koi, K Corp,
Yep,
Giant X is starting to gain a French or not French, a Spanish fandom, which is good for
Yep.
them. I mean, like you've got some pretty decent teams over there. I mean, the
and
bottom
they
four
probably
I'd say are
put
still a
the
little
heat
rough.
on Giant X. Yeah, Rogue. I think they're gonna start trying to get to leave. SK really doesn't have a terrible fandom.
No, Vitality
They're
has a
just not
great
doing
fandom,
well.
big French fandom.
Yeah, they're just doing bad. I mean, that's all. But it's like, I don't know. It really wore me down thinking about it. I was sad. I was sitting there like, man, this stinks. How did we mess this up? Because I was just listening to those people talk on LEC, and they're just like hyping up G2, hyping up Fnatic. They're talking about the new teams a little bit. You can still tell they have problems with K-Core, but they've accepted they can't get rid of them.
Yep.
So they're like starting to hype them up a bit more. And it's like, that is one thing I respect LEC is they'll let teams know when they don't like them, but they also eventually set aside their differences, like when they realize this is too good to not.
Yeah.
Like, start to unleash.
TSM fan would have that opinion.
Okay, yeah.
I wonder
But
why.
You know what I mean, though. Like, come on.
Look, I get what you're saying. I do.
I get, like, I'm not saying they had to sit there and go, wow, Reggie did some great things. I even said they should have tried to get him to leave
Yeah, I know.
amicably so that they could keep the org. It's just more of like, you usually would want to keep things that are like big pullers or big movers.
Yeah.
I get why you would let EG walk. I really had never met an EG fan, even after they won.
Yeah.
I didn't know anybody who really liked them. I just knew people who liked JoJo.
Yeah.
But I think letting CLG and TSM walk made it really hard as well for like older people to come back. Like if older fans ever refound the league, I don't really think they notice anybody anymore, other than
No.
maybe Cloud9, because some might not know TL from the cursed days. That could be intermingled a bit. Like I'm sure by now they would just know them as TL. You'd hope, but
Yeah.
those are the only two they're gonna recognize. And if they were a TSM or CLG fan, there's no world where they come back and watch those two.
No. But I don't know. I'm curious to see this weekend though. See how viewership goes. Like I just cannot emphasize to people enough how important Sunday is
It's
for
very
this
important.
league. Not only for those games to be close, the last thing that we want is 2-2-0s. It would feel so bad. Or at least like if it's going to be a 2-0, it needs to be close. It cannot be the blowouts that we saw this week. But viewers, everything about this upcoming weekend is going to be really, really, really telling. So we'll see. And there's no American football on this weekend. People can't claim that there is nothing competing with this. So good luck. We're having our watch party here in New York for those that want to attend and are in the area. But I'm curious your thoughts on the matchups, though. Do you think it's going to be like, is there going to be any upsets? Are we just getting the TL FlyQuest?
I do think it's unfortunately going to be the TL FlyQuest. If you flipped the matches, I think there'd be a chance for C9 to push TL. I don't know if 100 Thieves can push TL to like beat them, I guess.
If Sniper plays like he did this weekend, no, we're getting fucked.
Yeah, Sniper, I'm really losing out on Sniper. I know he's young, but he's just, I don't know. He hasn't seemed to have gotten much better. But I think Fly like versus C9 is tough for C9 because those are two teams that are probably going to want a metagame. And my guess is Fly's a better metagame, but it's not a bad thing to see where they're both at. I mean, who knows?
Yeah. I mean, we will get to see them play each other if they both win.
Yeah.
And a best of one, which will be good.
Yep.
This will be proof of Fight Night scheduling, by the way.
What do you mean?
I'm going to be really curious to see how viewership goes because like there's always that argument of like NA has to front load the best games first because nobody watches
Oh,
later into the
yeah.
evening. But guess what? That best of one is going to be at 10 p.m. Eastern time.
It is.
So if viewership does well for that, if like this weekend actually does turn out and people tune in to watch that game, I don't ever want to fucking hear it again from Riot that we can't have Fight Night scheduling.
Yeah, and Fly C9 should have pretty high viewership.
Should.
Is it not expected to?
I think it is. I mean, I think
Okay.
both. I think both of those matchups are going to be good. I think Fly C9 is like the premier one that most people were thinking about.
I'm curious about how the Dig DSG game or series goes.
Yeah, that'll be Saturday is going to be interesting. I don't
How
know.
you feel about teams being removed this quick?
I don't mind it.
You don't mind it at all?
No, it's a short split. It's a short tournament going into first stand.
Mhm.
Like I get people are very much like in this train of thought of like, you know, a season should last so long. It's like I know that like this format is a quick turnaround to get one team to send to an international event. Like that's what we're doing. So
Do you think a mini groups would have been nice?
no.
No.
I don't want to see best of ones. I'm fine with how it's happening now, personally.
Okay.
It's on the other teams in NA to get better so that those first round matchups are not such significant blowouts.
Uh-huh.
The problem is
That's fair.
there is such a massive range between the top and bottom teams in this region compared to LEC and LCK that it's making it feel worse.
Mm-hmm.
The bottom teams just simply have to be better. Like it's that simple. Whether it's like you're scouting the wrong talent, whether we're not bringing in the right people, I don't know what you're doing. But like for Dig, Surdy's great. I mean, the visa issues suck, obviously. But like beyond that, I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I don't either.
Do you want to do predictions?
Sure.
I need to load up the schedule. I didn't even see. I know I have a 2-point lead on you. Otherwise, because we
Yes.
guess the same. Otherwise, other than FlyQuest Shopify.
Yeah. Did you guess 2-1 for that or 2-0?
2-0 for everything but the 100 Thieves
Okay.
series, which we both guessed 2-1 and only got 1 point for.
Yep.
So, schedule for this weekend. First match is going to be Shopify Lion.
Shopify line. Shopify 2-0. Gonna try it again. I'm gonna run it back.
I want to say that Shopify's problem was that they were facing FlyQuest and that they were going to look better against Lion. But the question is it going to be clean? You know what? I'm willing to say that. Yeah, I'm willing to say 2-0 Shopify over Lion. I think Lion is significantly below everybody else on that front. Maybe a week's worth of practice will help them, but I don't think so. Not enough. Dig disguised.
Disguised 2-1.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
What? Why disguised 2-1?
Yeah.
I think I liked what I saw from Castle. I thought he played better.
They kind of left him on an island, but yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I think Disguise bottom lane can step up this week, and I like their mid jungle. I think is about. I mean, I think XU should do good against Lyra,
Yeah.
and I think Abadage and Keen are about even.
I
So-
think I will push back. I think Keen is probably a little bit better than Abe in current form. But I'm gonna be real with you.
Yeah, I'll say. I guess, yeah.
I think the bot lanes are pretty much dead even. Like Scary Jerry did not impress me all that much in that first week. It's not like he was playing Yon or Masu. He was playing FBI played well, but like we're not expecting them to be like at that top level. I'm saying Dignitas 2-1. And I think the difference is actually going to come from that top side. Because like we're looking at Castle as like the point of strength there. I was already liking what I saw from Surdy and how he held on in their series there against TL. I think against a weaker team, he'll do fine. The only thing is like Castle playing and like this guy's team playing without a crowd. I get weary of how teams do because some players like not having fans there. So
Yeah. I just think Castle did some good things to Sniper.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll be able to do that against Surdy, personally. I think Surdy's
think
a more
Surdy's better than
I think
Sniper?
Surdy's a more disciplined player.
Okay.
I think Sniper has like that crazy, like you never know what's gonna fucking happen with him, like mentality.
Yeah.
But like Surdy, I just feel like maybe this is my bias, like really getting in the way here because I'm really liking everything that I'm seeing from Surdy so far. But like he just feels like a much more stable rock in the top that will not let Castle do what he did in that series against them. So I'll say 2-1 Dig. TL 100 Thieves.
TL2O. This is where I'm gonna get my points back on you.
Yeah. 100 Thieves 2-1.
I'm really gonna get my points back on you. Oh, that's nice. Oh man, that's nice. Oh, I love it. You can't let those boys die.
Nope, I can't.
You can't give them up.
I can't. Like you'll see, I said it on the rendezvous this week. If Sniper doesn't step up, the series is doomed from the jump. But my eyes go towards that bot lane specifically. I think Yon and Core JJ are the PowerPoint of that roster still. And if Sniper can go even with Impact and FBI and Ayla can step up like they did in the first series, granted against a much better bot lane, we could be cooking with something. Because I'll take Quid.
Yeah.
I will take Quid over APA. River and Umpty I put on par. In terms of their performance this past week, I put them on par.
That's fair. I think Impact just does the Sniper what he always does. I think it's father son.
Always does. What happened in those best of one, sir?
Okay, sure. Yeah, you did
Yep.
show up.
No,
for
no,
those.
don't say always. So I get your point lately, but
I will say the hardest one was for me to say Shopify 2.0 because I also picked my team, I guess. But
yeah, but I feel like
I
that's
do
more
think
expected.
Lions has some good
Ah,
skill positions, bro. That mid and bot laner looked nice. Saint and
yeah, are they both the
what's his
imports?
name? Saint and Hena.
Yeah, both the
Hannah?
imports, right?
Yeah, both imports looked kind of
Yeah,
nasty.
no
bro.
shit. Like, go figure.
I know, but they look nasty. What do you want me to say?
I don't know.
Like, I am kind of worried that Shopify doesn't beat them, but we'll see. It doesn't
I'll
matter.
tell you. If Palafox plays like he did there and Fudge continues to just be late to every play, you guys could be in trouble.
Yeah, which has always been my problem with Fudge. Luckily, I think he should deal with Licorice well. Licorice looked really bad, so.
Yeah.
But Licorice was against a really good top laner, so that's fair.
Yep.
What's the last one? Fly T9?
Cloud9.
I'll let you take lead. I've taken lead on all of them. Let's let you set the tone.
FlyQuest 2.
Okay. Well, yep. That's about where I think. Do I think FlyQuest will I'm trying to
I don't
debate
see a
if
world. I do not see a world where they drop a game.
well,
I
they
think-
might like cocky pick a game.
I think they can cocky pick a game and still beat C9. I think FlyQuest are
Really?
that good right now. I think Masu is just the hands down the best ADC in the league, without question. And
Oh yeah, FlyQuest 2.0. Gosh dang it. Yeah, you made a good point.
like
I forgot about bot lane.
that bot lane, like, it's just the only
I
way.
just keep thinking about Thanatos, but then I remember Vulcan exists, and Vulcan is so bad.
It's like the one point that you used to be able to make last year was like, oh, you don't know if Busio's going to show up on the day or not. Busio's look fucking great.
Yeah.
The last the last 10 games that we've seen him play, he's looked phenomenal. So
He was
yeah.
playing against Hazel. Pish posh.
And before that, who was he playing against? Oh, was it Lahens?
Not that good. Known choker.
Yeah, okay.
According to you, they weren't even that good. They lost EWC. A prestigious event. According
Again.
to some.
Depends on who you ask. If I put on that jacket, all of a sudden it matters real quick.
Yeah. Man, I
Ah.
just keep forgetting C9's bot lane. Like, Thanatos is so good, bro. He's so good.
He's great in lane, but like at the same time, it's like
yeah.
when this team has to come together and team fight, it's going to be a problem. Here's the world where I see C9 beating FlyQuest, okay? They pick an early game draft and smash in lanes. Thanatos pummels the shit out of Whippo, okay? And Loki steps up and is able to I know that's fucking never going to happen. Quad is
Doubt it's gonna happen.
No, that is not going to
Quad's
happen.
playing phenomenal.
It's got to be like it's in that case. It's got to be Vulcan showing Busio like, "Hey, the time is now, brother. Like it's time to learn." And Blabber just like regains spring form. But like for me, it's that top side. If Thanatos does not get a lead there and get a pressure point, I don't see a world where C9 has a good enough early game
tough.
to be able to get to the point where FlyQuest can't just bitch slap them in team fights. There's nobody in this region that fights better than FlyQuest right now.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's just tough because C9 has that bot lane. Like, I look at everything else, and I'm like, man, they should be able to, like, really push Fly. But, I mean, I'm not calling Sven that bad, but I just don't see how they're going to match up with Masu Busio. The real worry, too, is, like, Loki he's not bad. But Lion was like making some of those fights way closer than they needed to be
Yeah, and FlyQuest will just
against C9.
FlyQuest will stomp your skull in.
Yeah, if you're not fighting well, like team fight wise, Fly is just too good at it. And if Lion is team fighting you well, I just don't know. I mean, I know C9 like curb stomped the second game really, really hard, but some of those fights felt closer than they had to be. And I could just be entirely off and people can get as mad as they want, but I do feel like C9 is just inferior currently, which is crazy because APA said that he thinks this is like the best C9 will be all year.
I agree with him.
He said they've peaked and this is it, which is nuts.
Yeah.
I mean,
So what's your prediction?
which also Pro's just so good. Fly 2-0. I agreed with you.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry, I can't be weird about it. I wanted to be weird and go 2-1, but then I remembered the bot lanes. It was too hard to be weird.
I hope we get some close series this weekend. I do. But I'm scared we're not going to.
We will.
I think Dig Disguised is
Well-
like the closest series out of
I
them
think
all.
the 2-0s of both of these could be really fun 2-0s.
Yes.
Is that a good way to say it?
No, I think that's fair. But like
If they're 2-0s.
you want to
Right,
see somebody
like-
tested. At least a little bit.
I would say the best chance we have would be 100T like stepping up into TL.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, I do genuinely believe if Cloud9 was playing TL, that would be a good series.
Actually, I don't think so, personally.
Really?
I think stylistic mismatch.
Okay.
The thing
Fair
that
enough.
like the reason why I like seeing C9 into FlyQuest is because like FlyQuest weak point is like C9 strong point. And that's like an in theory in quotes weak point. Whereas like TL's a great early game team. They're phenomenal. Like C9's not gonna be able to handle a fucking Pantheon support. I'm sorry, they're not. Like it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah,
Like
but
they're not ready for
TL
the
can
Draven.
TL can chuck some late game fights.
Yeah, but who's gonna catch it? C9? No. FlyQuest?
Yeah, but when you
yes.
put I can't say that word, but when you put two bad teams at team fighting in a arena, it becomes just two wet noodles slinging around. So that makes it a good game. People like fiestas.
No, I enjoy a fiesta.
Yeah, they like it to get wiggly. They like the wiggles. Let's get a little wiggly. Let's get these series as wiggly.
Let's get some Jason Derulo in the fucking venue. Wiggle.
I want some slapping, like this kind of slapping. Like it's just such stupid slapping. Nobody knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Let's get, one top laner gets caught and the next one gets caught. That's the kind of fighting we need.
I will say I thoroughly enjoyed Sniper and XU talking shit to each other just to get themselves killed in on chat.
Yup.
Oh,
And also
God.
like Sniper's saying like APA being like, bro, bet me your hair. And he's just like, nah, bro. I'm willing to do it against Disguised. I will not do it against
the
you.
fucking power move from APA, and I'm so glad they tweeted this out as like the clip. Him propping up, turning the Sniper, just like looking him dead in the eye, like waiting for him to say like about the preview of their matchup was brilliant. Well played from APA. Well fucking played. Like that's one of those where like he's not even shit talking. Like that's the art that I love about APA is like, yes, he like yaps in game, but like whenever he's like shit talking in person, it's different because it's like it's not shit talk. It's literally just like, what are you gonna do? Huh?
Yeah.
That's bulk. It's bulking. It's not shit talking. It's just like you're puffing the chest a little bit, being like, what? Say something.
It's just a more like easily digestible Whippo.
Yeah.
It's not like as annoying, I guess. It's a bit more well delivered. I do think it's hilarious that what was it? Jan had to go to the draw show, and they were saying how like because APA got sick and he was supposed to go, and Jan was like pissed about it. He was like, Jan came back and he was so mad. He was like, "Why'd you make me go to the stupid draw show?" And I was like, I love Jan so much. Whenever they can force him to talk, it's so funny. Or just hearing stories about him.
It's not great to have a lot of players that just want fuck all to do with like the media, camera, anything else like that. But him unapologetically being like, I'm not gonna fucking like I want nothing to do with you. Like I like some personalities like that are great. Especially when they have a counterbalance of like people that like love being in the spotlight.
That's what makes it good. Yep.
Yes.
So what makes it good is having APA and Jan together.
Yep. You have both sides of the coin. You have APA willing to yap and like go toe to toe with people, and then Jan's just sitting over there in the corner being like, "Fuck, I gotta move."
Yeah.
Like
Jan's like, I beg you to just let me play League of Legends, and APA is like, I'll play League. I'll play it all night. And what are you gonna do, huh? I'm here all day. I got all freaking night, brother. I'll be here all day. And this keep going. There's so many hours in the day. I could do this all night. He's just a psycho. And then Jan's like played the same amount of games, but he just hasn't said a word. He's just like doing his job, going home, chilling. That is a great dynamic.
And then he's just he's that kid in the back of the class that just like opens his mouth once and says like the most like vulgar shit. And you just turn around and it's like, dude, you haven't said anything for the last 2 years And you think you can just come out and have that be your first words that you're saying? Like,
Yep.
what?
And we're at like the end of the podcast, so I can say whatever I want. So it also is great to have their version, like TL's team dynamic, and then you just look at FlyQuest, which is the complete like opposite of like we all are just 24/7 screaming at each other all the time, wanting to be the best. And you have TL who's just like, we hate other people. And Fly's like, I hate him. I hate him so much. Like Busio sitting there, like, I got Nautilus again. Life's good. And Bippo's in top lane, like, I fucking want him to die. He's like, please die. It's that meme where the kid's like, I got Rel. And the top laner's like, please die. You can't min-max Seraphine. I hate you so much. He's like, please leave.
Oh god. Oh dude, it's so good.
It really is. It is funny because it's like this is a good time to watch in a league, low key. But Cloud said he's catching up and he's been talking about for a while. It's a marketing problem, and I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, we know.
that's pretty much where we got to
Yep,
tonight.
that's where we were.
Yeah.
That's where we get to every time. Yep.
Yeah, because you look at the product and you're like, man, the in between breaks content isn't really that bad. It's kind of nice to listen to. The players are pretty interesting right now. Like Sniper, XU, APA all did a really good
Dude.
pros. They're gonna do another great pros, I'm sure, next week.
I'll rephrase my original statement that I had earlier because I said like Saturday, Sunday, Monday is amazing. Like from the time the games start on Saturday to the time that pros is released on Monday, great set of days, phenomenal. It's everything else between that's just like, and that's reflective of the viewership. Like the viewership being down, in my opinion, is not because like the product is inherently bad. I'll keep saying that. I think it like the guy that called in the Hotline League is like, there's no storylines. There's no this. It's like, brother, you're on crack if you think there's no storylines to be had here. Maybe Riot's not doing the most effective job of like putting them out there. Maybe, but like we have them. There are so many good storylines in the LTA right now, and the product is genuinely fun to watch.
Yep.
It's just everything else around that we gotta do more. We gotta put more shit out there. You gotta do more content. You gotta brand yourselves better. Like everything else besides that point, like you gotta do. But otherwise, it's great.
And some of it really does come down to teams. I mean, there are a lot of teams that aren't like marketing themselves, you can tell, to get those numbers. I mean, I'm kind of saved this for the end because I didn't want to rag on them too hard, but it is crazy that like most of the player intro videos for Shopify's LoL team got like 600 views, bro. It was tough when I went and was looking at it, and I was just like, oh, I mean, that's rough. I was like, I mean, I'm not hating. I'm not trying to overhate. That's why I saved this for the back, you know?
Yeah.
But like that's not the best. And I'm just like, man, we gotta start marketing this. We gotta start getting this out there. I mean, it was a good first step with Charlie doing the co-stream. And now we need to keep it moving. And hopefully one of them co-streams this week between him and Ludwig, because this is the week they can actually win.
Yeah.
So that would be good. And really turn it around, because I don't know, we just need to get more eyes on him, more interest. I mean, there were so many people in there asking what is League of Legends, and him trying to like explain it but being like, I can't really, it's too deep. And then he talked about how he's been playing like off stream. He's been playing League, and I'm like, good.
Yep.
There's some movement there.
And I will say, 100 Thieves, we've had a good week.
Yep.
We had the Noah Lyles video this morning.
Yep.
We had our vlog from this past weekend's games out today. So like,
oh wow, okay.
Yeah, the timing of this shit's all picking up real quick.
Mm-hmm.
It's really nice. Good week for us so far. I'm curious to see how it keeps going. Probably like voice comms tomorrow. Like, we're getting shit out there.
Yep.
So, and Sniper's being vocal on social media, which is good. We're doing the things we need
No,
to
it
do.
is.
So,
Yeah.
this is our last year. It's a pretty good last year so far.
Yeah, I believe.
But anything else to mention before we close it out?
No, I can't really think of much else. I mean, we just got a lot to talk about. It's gonna be a long year. It's gonna be a lot of stuff. I fear, I do fear Shopify could be tough. I could be getting in the meat grinder.
I'm curious to see after this week what happens for you guys. If you guys lose, what conversation you want to bring to whether you write this off or whether you try and hype
No,
it
I
up.
mean,
I
I'll
don't
be
know.
on this is year 2 of Palafox for me, and I'm comfortable saying I'm done by week 2. There's gotta be a mid somewhere not doing anything that can do what he does.
We'll shelve that conversation for next week. We won't.
Yeah, because what if he pops off
Yep.
and then I'm a big old idiot?
Yep.
But
So we'll wait.
You
Thank you
really-
everybody for tuning in. Be sure to follow Paul on Twitter at 23tarios50. For me, you'll probably see me yapping about content and stuff as stuff keeps coming out. I think that's pretty much it on my side. The rendezvous tomorrow. I got to film the pit on Thursday for Friday. That's going to be it.